Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm your presenter Mervin Matthew. Thank you for joining us. Our top stories this news time.
Elections in the Commonwealth of Dominica will be December 6, 2019.
And the People's Republic of China government to finance the construction of an international airport in Dominica. Details of these and other stories coming up.
Scary! Everything just shaking and making big creaky noises.
Earthquakes, big and small, take place in the Caribbean at least 10 times a year.
The dishes rattling and falling and breaking, then Vonnie started to scream.
All I could think to do was shout, "Get outside, get out!"
Earthquakes, hazards, take control, reduce your loss. If an earthquake hits, what can you do? Get down, get under an item of furniture like a table. Hold on and stay there until the quake passes. Find out lots more about earthquakes and other hazards at your local disaster office. A message from your National Disaster Office and Sidera.
Thank you for staying with us. General elections in Dominica will be held on Friday, December 6, 2019. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit made the announcement as he addressed an event in Goodwill on Tuesday evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have therefore advised His Excellency, the President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, dissolve the Parliament of Dominica tomorrow, Wednesday, the 6th of November, 2019. In accordance with the powers vested in me by the Constitution of Dominica, I have advised that a writ be issued for general elections in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Nomination day in Dominica shall be Tuesday, the 19th of November, 2019. The date on which Dominicans shall go to the polls and choose between transformation and change they can see versus talk and inexperience, between experience and experimenting, between safety versus uncertainty, is Friday, the 6th of December, 2019.
Prime Minister Skerrit appealed for peace and maturity in the days leading up to the December 6 polls.
I appeal to all within the sound of my voice to let us strive for peace and maturity in the conduct of this general election. We are one people. We have a nation to build. We have an image to safeguard. Let us conduct this general election campaign in an atmosphere of civility and responsibility. Let us respect each other's rights and property. Let us emerge from this exercise the envy of the region and the world, with a clear mandate from the people and by the people for a new season of development for this beautiful country of ours.
The Honorable Prime Minister also stressed the importance of nationals participating in the voting process.
Elections are very serious business. It matters, listen to me, it matters whether you vote or not on elections day. It matters which party wins or not. It matters who leads the country in the third decade of the 21st century. You each have a responsibility to get out there and vote. Vote for the better party and vote for the better candidate for national leadership. Across the world today, we see the fruits of wise voting, and we see the penalties being paid by persons who either do not vote or who voted for the wrong person or party. Not voting is essentially the same as voting for the wrong person. Not voting is to turn your back on a process that charts the path for the country for the next 5 years. 5 years? 5 years is a short time if you have the right persons in government. 5 years is a very, very long time if you have the wrong persons in government. And it is very, very long if you have the wrong person leading the country of Dominica.
In other news, the government of the People's Republic of China will provide financing for the construction of an international airport in Dominica. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit made the announcement during his Independence Day address at the Windsor Park Stadium on Sunday.
We knew that if we wanted to see Dominica emerge as a leading economy in the Caribbean, we had to address connectivity. Over the last few years, we have been working on this project. We have hired a reputable, experienced American firm to advise us on the best way and best place for sitting an international airport. They have advised us on an area in Woodfordale and Wesley. We have been having discussions and negotiating the funding of the airport with a number of interested parties. Today, ladies and gentlemen, in the year of our Lord 2019, I can announce to you that the government of the People's Republic of China sent a special envoy to me last week to confirm that China will provide the financing to build the international airport for Dominica. With the solid support of the People's Republic of China, Dominica will have its international airport, and we expect that works will begin in earnest in 2020.
The government of Dominica will continue to take actions to develop the island's education sector. In his Independence Day address to the nation on Sunday, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit spoke of government's plans to further enhance the sector, making education more accessible in a technologically advanced era.
I spoke earlier about the importance of education. Work is underway to revolutionize our education system. We will bring technology into the classroom at the primary and secondary level and outfit our students to function at the optimum in a digital world. There will also be greater emphasis on the STEM subjects. Utilizing technology and the internet, we'll also be expanding the reach of the Dominica State College to introduce the Learn Where You Are program. That will allow our nationals to take classes from their villages or communities without having to physically go to a classroom while still obtaining the same quality education and teaching. This government will establish a Dominica Hospitality Institute to train the youth and all others who seek training for the numerous jobs that are coming on stream in the tourism and hospitality sector. There will be a certification programs available for skilled personnel. Equally, there will be training in a range of construction disciplines in order to develop the skills pool needed for the national construction boom and to supply to the rest of the Caribbean. When we educate and look after a nation's children, we secure the future so that they may secure the generation which follows them.
14 individuals and 2 institutions were recognized at the 3rd November 2019 Parade of Uniformed Groups, which was the highlight of Dominica's 41st anniversary of independence. Among them, DBS Radio's Samuel Raphael, Father Franklin Coffey, Stephen Danglebend, Starry Williams, and Vilna Roye. The highlight of the event was the march past by the uniformed groups. Dominica's 41st anniversary of independence was celebrated under the theme Saluting Resilience and Rejuvenation 2 years on. The government of Dominica continues to make significant inroads in its geothermal energy pursuits. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit provided details as he addressed the 2019 Diaspora Forum at the Jungle Bay Resort and Spa last week.
Our challenge in Dominica with utilizing fossil fuel is that electricity will always be expensive because we have to import the fossil fuel. And we have been advised, and we accept that advice, that the way to go is renewable energy, especially in keeping with our thrust to building a resilient nation, a greener economy. And we have been able to secure all of the financing required for the construction of that plant. There was a recent testing done, a successful testing done, and I was at the World Bank this month discussing with them the next steps. And we are in the process now of going to tender for the construction of the geothermal plant itself. And what this will do is that it will seek to reduce the cost of energy to domestic consumers, but also for business. When you run in a hotel, for example, and the air conditioning is on 24/7, and you have 160 rooms, you can do the maths. And so by the construction of the geothermal plant, we have been advised we will see a noted decrease in the cost of energy to our consumers. Again, keeping money in the consumer's hands, keeping money into the business's hands, and thereby building financial wealth and able to reinvest these funds and create more opportunities for us.
Let your spirit take to flight. Let your heart run free and wild. Find your soul in Dominica, the nature
Scary. Everything just shaking and shaking and making big creaky noises.
Earthquakes, big and small, take place in the Caribbean at least 10 times a year.
The dish is rattling and falling and breaking. Then Vonnie started to scream.
All I could think to do was shout, get outside, get out!
Earthquakes, hazards, take control, reduce your loss. If an earthquake hits, what can you do? Get down, get under an item of furniture like a table. Hold on and stay there until the quake passes. Find out lots more about earthquakes and other hazards at your local disaster office. A message from your National Disaster Office and Sidera.
Welcome back. Nationals turned out on Tuesday to beautify their communities as the country observed National Day of Community Service. GIS News teams covered cleanup activities across the country. In Kinfield, we met with a group of newly sworn-in councillors of the Kinfield Urban Council engaged in a beautification exercise alongside the bridge near Autotrade.
Being our first project, since we are newly elected, we just took our oath on Thursday, so it was at a very short notice. So we had to quickly put some resources together, and we chose 3 venues actually. We're doing here, the Master Primary School, and we're also cleaning 12th Street.
Oh, I'm loving it. It's like a mission I had because I grew up in Kinfield from after I left town, so I always wanted to see Kinfield better than what it is now, the Kinfield that I knew before. So that's why beautification is one of our strong points. And then, as you said, we have other projects to undertake, which is big. Beautification is not just for one day, it's a continuous thing. So like cutting up the grass and then fixing up all of the as you can see, the railings, some of them are crooked, and then to avoid accidents and stuff like that, so protection for the people within the community and by the environment. So all of that, we're going to incorporate it.
GIS News also caught up with Parliamentary Representative for the Soufriere constituency, Honorable Dennis Charles, hard at work with a group of youths from that constituency.
In the Soufriere constituency, we are focused on cleanup and beautification. So for all the constituency, you see the collection of white goods, and you see different groups planting flowers. And there's one other project by the church group, which they're building the church wall. So for Garlet, Scott said, the Labour Youth Organization, we decided that we wanted to beautify the entrance of Scottshead with some palm trees. So we came early. If you realize, like before, there's a lot of grass and bush in that area. We cleared it up and now we are planting the flowers. It is very important, especially for Scottshead, which is very hot. And we felt that we needed to uplift the entrance. When you drive in Scottshead, instead of seeing bush on the side of the road, you see flowers, which is a very pleasant and uplifting experience. The National Day of Service is an opportunity for us as residents to give back to our community. As I told a young man earlier, you have 364 days for yourself. There's only one day we're asking that we come together as a community to clean up and beautify our village, and I think more people should get involved in that activity. It's not only when we have fete and having a good time, but we must also join hands to do the work necessary in the community. And then we cook, we have drinks, and we have a good time. The young people are so inspired and encouraged this morning because they're doing this project. They're not being paid for it, they're volunteering their time, but you can see the passion which they're conducting their work with. So I'm really excited about that.
And finally, this news time, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Scarry says he would like to see a peaceful end to ongoing protests in Hong Kong. The Honorable Prime Minister made the remark during a ceremony last week where the governments of China and Dominica signed an economic and technical cooperation agreement.
I also want to commend the leadership of China, and President Xi in particular, and the authorities in Hong Kong for for the manner in which they have been handling the internal challenges faced in Hong Kong. I believe that the Chinese leadership have shown great restraint, profound tolerance, and our hope is that there can be a settled solution to the present challenges. This is an internal matter within the People's Republic of China. Whatever Dominica can do to assist with a resolution to this matter, we are prepared to do so. But we believe that the rule of law must be respected. The destruction and damage of people's private property and public property should never be tolerated by any one of us in this world. A wrong in one country is a wrong in another country. And countries have laws, countries have regulations, and these things must be respected by all concerned. And so we're hoping that there can be an end to the lawlessness that's taking place in Hong Kong, and that people respect the rule of law.
Scary! Everything just shaking and making big creaky noises.
Earthquakes, big and small, take place in the Caribbean at least 10 times a year.
The dishes rattling and falling and breaking. Then Vonnie started to scream.
All I could think to do was shout, get outside, get out!
Earthquakes, hazards, take control, reduce your loss. If an earthquake hits, what can you do? Get down, get under an item of furniture like a table. Hold on and stay there until the quake passes. Find out lots more about earthquakes and other hazards at your local disaster office. A message from your National Disaster Office and SEDERA.
And now for the weather outlook. A high-pressure system will continue to generate a brisk trade wind flow across most of the Lesser Antilles, including Dominica, during the next 24 to 36 hours. Low-level moisture moving with this wind flow is expected to result in periods of scattered shower activity across the northern and central portions of the island chain during that period. Meantime, a tropical wave will continue to produce shower and possible thunderstorm activity across the southern windwards during today. By Thursday night into Friday, another tropical wave is expected to produce showers and possible isolated thunderstorms across parts of the island chain. Moderate to rough seas are expected during the next 24 hours, with swells peaking near 10 feet. A small craft warning is in effect for above normal seas. Small craft operators and sea bathers, particularly along the eastern coastline, are advised to exercise caution. And that's National Focus. On behalf of the GIS News production team, I'm Mervin Matthew. Thank you for watching.